All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Friday, January 21st, 2022. So volatility finally getting a pop here through that 29 handle, touching just under 30. We talked about this yesterday, how volatility, it was strange that volatility wasn't doing much. We're finally getting a move here. If we pull the chart back, we talked about this yesterday in the stream. We got through this area in December, but it wasn't enough to take the markets really down because the big boys hadn't been done distributing yet. They were really just kind of starting. And now we're getting to this area again, and we are getting oversold. I do think, though, that we could probably have a pullback here in volatility, even though if we start getting up into this area here, it's going to start causing margin calling. But I think that given the oversold nature of the market right now, we're getting into a lot of key levels across the board here. And we're also probably likely to see some short covering into the close, at least I would think, at least some profit taking, from people who've been short. I mean, that's what we've been doing. Specifically, we covered Ford today, another winner there. We are now up over 5.3% for the year. Put that in perspective, S&P is down now 9%. So big gains going on here at Carnivore Trades. So if you want to get in on that, come check me out. Patreon's here. But yeah, in any case, markets are getting into some pretty key levels here. So S&P cutting through that 200 MA, getting close to this gap fill as well. I believe I said that the target for this little head and shoulders was 434. So maybe we start to get down that. Maybe we, gap down Monday and test it. We'll see what happens into the close, though. If they get some type of short covering, and profit taking, it could start a little bit of a squeeze early. But then again, there's also the fact that, or the chance that investors might not want to hold into the weekend, what with Russia going on and so on and so forth. But we do have some key technical levels coming up here. So we got I said 434. Well, you got your 50-week moving average on the SPY here, just under 434. Also, this is good support right in this range. So, all triple Qs here as well, cutting through that 50-week moving average. But again, when you have high volume like this, a lot of the times these levels will pierce. You're also coming right into a double bottom as well. There's a good level on the IWM right here. If we flip over to the daily, you can see right here this gap fill. I've been waiting for this gap for quite some time, and the Russell just went sideways for basically a year, and I'm now finally getting into that area and possibly challenging that gap. The diamond here, getting down to this kind of support level here. So there's a lot of levels here in the markets that are getting pretty close. Some major levels. We took a look at cloud software, so this has just been absolutely hammered over the last month or two. But notice this little pivot point right here, nice little chop. This is where you tried to break down, you couldn't, you reversed, so that will be good support as well. Semis, you got the daily 200 right there. This is also a nice area of consolidation before you broke out. So there's a lot of sectors, a lot of stocks coming into key levels here. And I think we're due for a bounce here, to be honest. Now, just because we're oversold doesn't mean anything. That, let's be clear here. This was overbought this entire time. And, you hear people yelling and screaming that, oh, we're oversold, we should be bouncing right here. Well, those people were dead silent this entire time because they were happy to be long the market and front running the Fed the whole way up. So, markets can go oversold for a long time. They can get overbought for a long time. That said, we are getting into some key levels, though. So I do think the bias here is for a potential bounce possibly next week. We also have the FOMC as well. I don't expect Jerome Powell to backtrack on any of his tightening talk, but he does have a way of calming the markets down. So there is stuff that he can do. He can jawbone the markets up, and we could get a relief bid, which I think we are due for. All right, let's take a look at a few sectors here. So Dow Transport's getting hit. Testing that 200 moving average, getting a little bit off the lows here. If we take a look on the weekly, Dow Transports have held up okay. They are getting another level here. You got the 50-week moving average there on Dow Transports. There's another key level, another sector that's into a key level here. But Dow Transport's holding up there. These types of stocks, like low PE stocks, are going to do better with the high yield environment. So they've been holding up okay, but did get hit a little bit today. We've been watching financials pretty closely. So XLF down, testing that 200 again, testing this trend line. Broker dealers cutting through. So now you've got this little bottom here. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they can hold this pivot here by the close today. eventually, broker dealers are probably going down to this level, maybe 440. But in the near term, big drop here, and this is going to be a key pivot here. But you're losing that trend line and that 200, so not a great look there for broker dealers. I'd said that JP Morgan is going down to 140. That may get a little bit of a bounce. You've got this little pivot here, so next week we could see it, possibly come back up and test 152 or something like that before moving down. Goldman also down again today as well, although possibly putting in a bit of a doji here. This is going to have good support around 120. But yeah, financials getting hit. Let's take a look at the yields. So yields coming in today, so a little bit of backing and filling going on. I don't think it's anything more than that. You might have a little bit of a flight to bonds today with how sharply the market is sold off. 30-year down as well here, but ultimately I just think this is backing and filling. You can see we have pretty good support. Let's put on the lines. Yeah, so nice support in this range and just kind of holding this area. I do expect yields to advance, possibly, within the next couple of weeks. But, again, they may have to do a little bit of backing and filling first. Energy finally coming back to earth here. I talked about that 65 handle on XLE, so it is pulling back off of that necktie. So XLE coming back in and really just coming back down to earth here. It should get a nice pop off that 20 moving average, assuming we go straight down into that. XOP also coming back into support here, so back testing that little breakout, and the OIH also getting near support here, that 20 MA as well. It could get a pop off of that if we back test it there. Crude, so it's a strong horse. This is why I did not advise shorting it. Particularly, I wasn't too keen on it. I did like this level. I did like how you're overbought, but notice Crude sold off and then came right back up here. So Crude is still strong, and with the geopolitical tensions right now, I just want to avoid this play right now until things start to cool off a little bit, or we get more clarity, a better chart setup or something like that. But Crude hanging in there today. Nat Gas also getting a little bit of a bid. It did get sold off pretty hard here, so it is trying to hold that $4 handle for now, and it is hanging in there. Dollar index, again, so we talked about the possibility of a flag. That's starting to play out now. So if we can do a little bit more backing and filling and consolidating into next week, we could see an advance here in the dollar, but nice little drop. And then you're popping off that 20 moving average and 200. So nice little recovery there for the dollar. Nice weekly test candle. I like that look. See gold here, so gold coming back in a little bit. If this starts to flag up, it could, potentially, again, we talked about testing 1865, 1870, but we'll have to see how the pattern plays out. Now, again, I'm very curious to see what they do with the PMs next week, because we talked about this recently, but every time they run it up near an Opex, it's always within a week or so afterward they completely dump everything out. So we'll be watching this closely next week. They could, the last time, look at Platinum here. They got it up in Opex, then they started to flag it, and then it rolled right over. Gold got up, and then they started to flag it, and then it rolled over. Gold got up, started to flag it, and then it rolled over. Silver, same thing here. All these, failed bull flags. And it just, can they do it a third time? Oh, they might. So I would avoid them right now. Personally, until they really prove themselves. But PM's still kind of hanging in there for now. Copper trying to hold this 451 area, just really has struggled with that. Got a nice pop last week, got a pop yesterday, and it just can't get any follow through right now. But the weekly chart is still okay, but it is struggling with that 451 area. I want to see it close above 451 within the next 8 minutes to confirm a breakout here on copper. So let's flip over to Bitcoin. All right, there we go. So Bitcoin, obviously, we've got to talk about this. Flushing. So it was holding up really well, and it was actually outperforming the market. That changed yesterday. Right after the close, there was some market sell orders that came in on Bitcoin, and you can see it was actually popping up nicely. And right after the close yesterday, Bitcoin dumped out, and it has not looked back. Now cutting through 38,000. It's trying to hold 38,000. I told you guys a few weeks ago that it's probably headed to 35 and then 32. So again, what is this? Move down, bear flag, move down, bear flag, move down, another bear flag and a rollover. So Bitcoin headed lower, and that head and shoulders pattern is playing out so far. And the target on that is pretty low. That is sub 20,000. I think the last time I did the calculation on it. So Bitcoin taking a big hit here, as are all cryptos. Take a look at Ethereum down, testing 2,700 now. It does have decent support right in this range here. So may get a little bit of a bounce here, maybe over the weekend on Ethereum, but just not a good look overall here on in the crypto space. Let's take one last look here in at the spiders. So yep, flushing now. Well, yeah, it's holding the lows for now, but they may flush it into the close. We got about 5 minutes left. We'll see where we go here. Again, 434 is going to be support if they push it down there on Monday. But ultimately, I am expecting some type of a short covering rally here. I think that there's got to be some profits taken, at least in the near term. But don't be a cowboy with this market. If you're gonna go long, keep the position size small. If you want to try and take a stab at it, don't go crazy long here and put yourself at risk. We do have some high volume here, though, so that is another signal of a potential bottom being put in the near term. Now, I do expect the market to move lower after a bounce, but and you guys know that, but in the near term, I think, man, this is just a pretty big sell-off here. We're down 9% for the year already. So just an incredible move here. And I love this volatility because it makes for great swing trading opportunities. Anyways, guys, I won't bore you anymore here. We got a couple minutes left to the close. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. Come check me out on Patreon. And stay tuned for the weekend video, which will be out on Wall Street for Main Street. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you next week.